Alright folks, there ain't much of a video today. I'm still waiting on headlights and front turn signals to come in for the van. So I do have some stuff to do to it, but I'm not messing with it. I got this spare car of ours, Traverse 2011. AC's been weak on it for a while. So I ordered a new compressor, expansion valve, and a filter for the condenser. I was going to go ahead and actually this is one I had for another vehicle, but hoping it'll fit. I was going to order a condenser, but it wasn't going to be here till Tuesday. Today's Friday. I need to get this done. My Edge goes into the dealer Monday morning. I think a turbo's going bad, so my wife's going to have to drive the old Traverse for about a week, I'm sure. And here in eastern North Carolina, humidity is sky high and it's about 100 degrees every day. So this is not going to be a how-to because I don't do those. Just going to do here and there, show you what's going on. Oh yeah, and a power steering pump. So yeah, I got my work cut out for me today. Alright, after about 2 hours, 2.5 hours, I got it out. The worst thing was that plug, because you can only get one hand under there to get to everything. But I ended up having to take a pocket screwdriver and sticking it through there and popping the clip and pulling it out. But Pro Demand says you have to take that stud out in order to get the compressor out. But I didn't, and it came right on out. That stud right there. But it comes out through that hole pretty easy. It's not hard to get out. Aggravating part is getting your hand up in there to get the four bolts out, 3 bolts and a stud. But I'm gonna go with the new one, putting it in. No, I'm not neither. Yes, I am. Damn, I was looking at it upside down. So everything's the same. And that might not be my problem the whole time. It was cooling so-so in the mornings, and then in the daytime when the sun was out and got real hot, it quit cooling. Well, you know, that tells you condenser. And so I'm gonna pop that, fill that long tube out. There's a filter in there, it's about 6 inches long, and replace it with this one. Now, I probably could have got by doing that anyway, but I'm gonna go ahead and put an expansion valve and compressor on it to make it right, because I'm too fat to sweat. Well, I don't want to anyway. But yeah, let's get this rag put in. Alright folks, got the compressor put on. As you can see, it really wasn't that bad. It took me longer to get the plug unplugged than it did to take the actual compressor out, because I don't know who demanded to design this, but a mechanic most definitely was sleeping with his wife. But got the whole front clip off, bumper, to get to the condenser. So I got to pop this piece right here off, 2 bolts there and there, and hinge. It's got to come off here and here. and lay off to the side. I may pop them off here and here, these four, because if I take them off here, I probably need to mark it with a punch, like a little scrape it, so I could put it in the same spot. So I probably just take those four bolts off and keep all that the same and just push it over out of the way. But yeah, there's bolts there and right here, and this whole bracket comes off, and that I can get the condenser out. And I probably should have bought a new condenser, but it's like my cost was like $130, $120 from O'Reilly's. I could have got it for about $90 from Amazon and about $65 from eBay. But I didn't want to spend over $100, and I most definitely didn't want to wait till next week to get it in. So I'm gonna take it apart and pop that filter out at the end here and flush it out. So, but yeah, let's take this off and get to it. Crap. Those do have to come off. Well, put these four back. Well, I've been on standby. The filter thing I was going to use in here was actually from a Ford F-250. But I was hoping it was going to be the same, it would fit up in there. But it's not going to fit. It's completely different. Ford has that plug, then the screw goes into it. And this Chevrolet just has the screw. So I was going to go to O'Reilly's and get it. It's like my cost $148, and I got it from Amazon for $98. So I'm saving about $50, but I'm having to wait 2 days. Today's Friday the 4th. It'll be here Sunday. So, but I got plenty to do. I could fixing to get started on the power steering pump. Power steering pump's been growling on it for about a year. I actually bought this right here probably 6-8 months ago, and haven't had a chance to put it on. And right now it's a perfect time to get that done, and so I can put the fender well back on, go ahead and put the tires on. And I'm just gonna have to wait for the condenser to do the front out. But once I get the power steering pump on and tires and everything, lower it back down, got to get the expansion valve put on. It's way back there in the firewall, and my short legs, I can stand on my stool and lean up in there, but I'd rather have the tires on and lower it down. So that's what I'm doing now. Put the power steering pump on and wait for parts. The steering pump is on, and it took a few minutes to get the air out of it. I was starting to get worried, and yes, it is a Amazon power steering pump, but it took a little bit to get the air out of it. But it finally got out and quit whining. And while I had it up in the air with the tires off of it, I kept on turning the wheel back and forth, and just let it sit there and run, and with the cap off, and it finally quietened on down and just eased on down on the sound. But I'm waiting on a condenser from Amazon to come in, and I ordered an O-ring kit because O-rings didn't come with the expansion valve. So Sunday, I'm going to have to put expansion valve and condenser on it. And other than that, I'll be done with this. Alright folks, I figured I'd do a quick video on this. I don't think I posted one yet, but 2011 Traverse, it's our spare vehicle. Been having a problem for the last couple of years. The AC not cooling too good. And since it's a spare vehicle, we just been kind of like bearing with it. And don't drive it that much. But driving it a couple weeks ago, I said hell with it. And I'm tired dealing with it. So I bought a condenser, new expansion valve, and the daggone expansion valve is way back there on the firewall. You know, most vehicles it's back over here, but Traverse is back in there. But yeah, I put that expansion valve on it, put a new compressor and condenser, all from Amazon. And yes, I know I'm gonna get some bashing on that, but compressor from Amazon is like 130 something bucks versus 400 from O'Reilly's. So I won't gonna do that. But yeah, I know you get a lifetime warranty with O'Reilly's, but so what? But I charged it and did the same thing. All I can get out of it was about, on a day about 100 degrees outside, I could get about 78 degrees out of it. Absolute best I can get. So I said, no, hell no, something's wrong with it. I never dealt with anything with a rear air conditioning unit, and got looking on Pro Demand, and I knew the lines run down the side and to the back, and I knew it had everything's on the back just like the front. And bottom line, the daggum expansion valve on the rear, which is under the bottom right here, have to pull this tire off and just kind of pull the liner back so you can get your hands up in there. It's really not that bad to get to. You just have to kind of lay down, and I got everything grease rag over everything because I'm fixing to blow it out, flush it out. But it's up in there. Like I said, it's not that bad to get to. But what I ran into, don't never use these. And when I get to work Monday, I'm gonna take the damn saw to them. These long Harbor Freight Allen wrenches that has the ball on the head. Well, I stuck, actually it was this one here. It's a number 3. I stuck it up in the bottom to pull out these bolts. And let me get where you can see. Pull out these bolts that's recessed in there, and you can see what happened. That ball on that Harbor Freight socket broke off in there, and I couldn't get it out because it's, you know, them balls, if you dealt with them, you know they kind of snap in. So there I was with that ball of that socket up in there, and I couldn't get anything else in there to take it off. So I ended up having to take a cutoff wheel and grinding the head off of the bolt to get it off. That's the one side that came out. But I called O'Reilly's, and you know, I do all of my business with O'Reilly's. And it was, of course, after 5 o'clock yesterday. commercial is already closed. So I had to talk to somebody in the front. I asked for a bolt kit for the suspension valve. Oh no, that's a dealer item. You can't get it. We can't get it. I said, can you look it up? And I assume he was looking it up. I don't know. Probably not. But yeah, I know he was. I know the guy, not personally, but dealt with him. I'm pretty sure he looked it up. But he come back and said, "Man, I can't find anything." He said, "I guess you're gonna have to go to the dealer." So I went online, looked it up myself. That's the part number, Dorman. I called him back and asked him when can he get it. And today, about 10 o'clock, I picked it up. But you get the new bracket and 2 studs. So that goes with that. So I bought the rear, actually the rear expansion valve came from O'Reilly's also. But it was like $18 my cost. And it wasn't worth waiting 2 days to save $1 or $2 with Amazon. So I bought the rear expansion valve from O'Reilly's. But that's what I run into dealing with this. Something that should have took 30 minutes. Took me about 2 hours dicking with it, trying to pick that thing out with a pick, and I finally said, no heck with it. And I took the die grinder and cut it out. But yeah, I think this kit right here was like $18, about the same as the suspension valve, but it's worth it. So that's where I'm at. But that was stopped up. You can't blow. I tried to blow a little bit of air through it, and the spring in it must be collapsed or something. But you can't blow no air through it. So now I'm back to putting the suspension valve on the rear, fixing to flush it all out with some flush and this canister. I had one at work, but I didn't feel like driving 30 minutes picking it up from work. So I just ordered another one to keep here at home. It is what it is. But that's where I'm at. I'm gonna put this on, flush it out, charge it the old school way with a vacuum pump, and see what happens. Alright, I stuck the expansion valve on the bottom, the rear, and this is the bracket that came with the kit, that Dorman kit, and it's aluminum. And once I went to try to tighten it up, just as soon as it went to snug, got where it's snug, one side wrung out. That's aluminum. The factory one is metal. So I'm going to have to use the factory one. If you run into this and you buy it just for the bolts, go ahead and throw that right back in the box to get rid of it and use your metal factory one, because that right there is junk. Alright, it's the next day. About 70 degrees, which I just have turned it on. But it may drop a little bit, but not much more than that. But the rear is blowing about 10 degrees colder. The rear expansion valve came from O'Reilly's. The front expansion valve came from Amazon. So I'm wondering, I got a expansion valve problem, or if I got too much Freon in it. That's about the best I can get out of it right now, sitting here in the yard. So I'll keep you updated. I think it's going to be Amazon part problem.